Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. We are rocking out. I don't know if you can hear me. I'll turn that down. This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. We thought we'd throw some music in. Will it be uploaded to YouTube and accepted? I don't know. Get to the video next. Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Let me get that little dot out of there if I can. Oh, fuck it. I want you to see my fish tank. The fish tank rules, dude. Fish tank, aquarium, guys. Check out the tank. Plants. Plant aquariums, all that good stuff. Okay, so this is our 7th session, and we went over something. Let me see here. There we go. We went over something I think is very important for you to learn. All right. So the whole pickup artist scene, dating, relationship, dating tips, pickup artist scene, PUA, hypnosis, NLP, all that stuff, right? There is something that's called pea-cocking, which I personally don't believe in. In fact, this is the most dressed up I'm going to be. Pea-cocking is when you use something. Now, there's someone who's famous in the pickup community. He wears a huge top hat, and literally it's up to here, and he's put these big, like desert goggles on him, and he's got a big, like, huge tattoo, bright red, lips on him, and he wears eyeliner and paints his fingernails, and he wears these big, high boots. He's already, like, 6'5". It's not just him. There's a lot of guys doing it, and it's called pea-cocking. What it is you're trying to get girls' attention, okay? The thing is, number one, it's actually a very male, linear, external thing, and it doesn't work very effectively. At least, I don't want to say that. Let me say this. There's a better way to do it without having to wear a what's it called, a 10-gallon hat?
10-gallon hat.
All right. Do you want to say something about what you just learned? Or?
Yeah, first of all, that just looks ridiculous.
Yes.
I don't want to be walking into clubs wearing,
makeup,
a ton of jewelry and makeup and just weird things like that to get attention. That's got to be exhausting, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a girl. You're getting ready to go to a club.
It is.
Yeah, I'd rather just walk in there like myself.
Exactly. Now, I'm teaching a step-by-step process. It's actually a very male process, which towards the end of the course, I teach a couple of very left-brain patterns which simplify everything I teach. So it's a 10-session course, and I break it down into a couple of patterns, and it simplifies it, especially for the male brain. And all of a sudden, everything you learn is packaged into these very simple 4-, 5-step, 3-step packages. Very simple stuff, okay? So here's the thing about pea-cocking. I don't like it. I've never done it, and I always thought it was weird. Now, here's how I discovered what it really is. Now, number one, I'm more of an internal kind of guy, okay? So when you're an external guy, you're like, oh, well, wearing big things gets you attention, but you don't really understand why. What's going on in the female mating system? Why is she drawn to you? What's going on there? So instead of making yourself look like an ass, why don't you understand exactly like what it's about? So I bought this ring. It's a blue cat's eye in it right there, and it was the first ring I ever bought. It was the only thing I ever wore. I was getting in my 30s, thought, I need to get a little bit of class, a little style. And what happened was, women would walk up to me, oh, that's a really nice ring. What is that? I've never seen that. And I was like, oh, it's called the blue cat's eye. She was really, I've never seen one. I'm like, oh, well, it's man-made. And that's why it looks different than other blue cat's eyes. So it's not a natural thing you're going to see. But it's white gold, and it's this really cool blue stone or gem or whatever you want to call it. And I noticed women would come up to me and it hit me like, oh, God, it's the same thing as pea-cocking. It gives them an excuse to come up to you to start a conversation. Now, here's something I teach in my course, and I'm not going to go in depth right now, but Abhiniv understands it because we have gone in depth. Women are very indirect. They are not going to directly walk up to you and say, oh, I like you. You're hot. You got a nice ass. Hey, I want to see how big your package is. They're not going to do that. And I asked Abhiniv, how many times has a woman walked up to you and said, you're hot, I want to do you, or how big is your package in public? Never. It doesn't happen because the female brain isn't wired to do that. That is not a normal thing. And ladies, if you're going to argue with me, let's go out in public. I would love to see it because I don't see it anywhere. I'm not saying there's not 1 out of a million women that have the balls to do that. Sure, of course. But is that natural? It's never happened to me. I've never had one, oh, I want to fuck your brains out. And it's not going to happen. Because the female brain, when you begin to understand the left side and the right side and how they're connected, it's very indirect system most of the time, okay, a lot of the time, and in certain situations. So when you understand that it's internal and all this other stuff I'm not going to go into right now because it would take too much time, you will see why just wearing a ring, a regular classy white gold with a blue gem, a couple of diamonds on each side of it, it gives her a reason, because women are indirect. They say A, but they really mean B. So I tell guys, when you approach a woman, you can't just walk up to her and say, you're pretty, you're beautiful, I like you. That's direct. The female system, especially when it comes to the social brain, social situations, it is indirect. You say A, but you really mean B. And you have to understand how to communicate in this pattern. All right? So I noticed women would walk up to me and they would notice something like my necklace. And this is I actually go to Buddhist temple a lot. And this was given to me by someone, and I wear it all the time because of it. I never really thought of it as like, oh, this is a really cool thing. And what happened was women would start to say, what is that? And it's like, oh, it's actually a Buddha. It's a Buddhist necklace, etc. And I'd explain how I got it. And what I noticed was it gave them an excuse to come up and talk to me. And that's what I'm saying. You don't have to paint your fingernails black. You don't have to wear earrings. Some guys will wear literally like 10, 15, 20 bracelets on their arm and on their wrist all the way up to here. And they're at the club and you're like, what are you doing? It's kind of weird. So, but if that's your style, hey, that's cool. That's totally cool. I mean, that's not my thing. Is that your thing?
Not really, no.
No. So what I was telling Abhiniv is, look, you don't have to go over the top. All you need is to have one or two classy pieces of something that you like, that makes you feel comfortable, that gives you style, and that's it. You don't have to have your hair all spiked up and have eyeliner, what these guys are doing, and lipstick, and I'm trying to think of what else these guys do. They wear these boots that are like have 4-inch heels or 3-inch heels. You don't need to do that. What you do have to do is you have to have something that gives her a reason to start up a conversation, because that's how women do it. So, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I want to say that when you really, I guess you'd be throwing a lot at you in a lot of these videos, but when we go over it, it is really, really, really simple. It's just broken down into a few core concepts that you really learn to pick up. Like yesterday, I think I told you that, I'm starting to do some of this stuff unconscious and I don't even know it,
Well, tell them that. I don't think they could hear you.
Right. So what happened was, I was talking to him yesterday, and I caught myself doing some of the things that I don't normally do that Mike teaches in his course.
Some of the languaging patterns that trigger her mating system and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. And I told him, like, dude, I'm already starting to do this, but it's just like it happens by itself. And he said, that's what I'm teaching your unconscious mind, is to do it by itself. So it's just completely natural.
Right.
And yeah, it's super easy. It just, you pick up on it like that, dude.
What Abhiniv's talking about, when I began to take my NLP trainings, they told us right up front, we will be training and conditioning, that's really the real word, conditioning your unconscious mind to begin doing these patterns. So by the time you're at the end of this training, you're going to be doing this stuff with people unconsciously, you won't even realize it. So when you get a client to do therapy with them, it's going to be like that. And I tell you what, the first time I had a client, I was kind of freaked out, like, fuck, am I ready to do this, This person's coming in with a real life issue, they got fear or phobia or whatever. Man, it was the easiest thing. I was like, whoa, that was a trip. Everything came up. I started saying something, like, whoa, that's really cool. It was coming out. So I apply the same techniques that they teach us in NLP trainers training to do the same thing, and I applied it to this course. Now, I told you that right off the bat before you took the course, like, you're going to start doing this stuff unconsciously because of the way I train your brain.
Right. It didn't quite sink in until I actually started doing it. That's when I knew it was working.
Right. So the thing that you get with me, guys, you are going to get what's called a master coach. I'm an NLP trainer, certified master practitioner in timeline therapy, Ericksonian hypnosis, and I've trained with a lot of other things in psychology. Went to school and studied psychology. I am really, really good at doing this. If you want to meet girls, if you want to understand how to pick up on women in a very easy and very comfortable way, would you say that this whole thing has taken all the fear and thrown it away?
It's super easy, super comfortable. It's not even like you're sitting in a classroom, learning from the teacher. It's just kind of like you're sitting back with this guy who tells you all these stories and breaks it down and makes it really fun. It's just fun to sit there and learn all this stuff. So, yeah.
So I think what I wanted to add to what Abhiniv was saying is, in these videos, I can only give you little pieces. During the course, I break it all down, and you're like, oh, does it become really obvious now why this stuff works?
Yeah.
And why women are the way they are, and why men are the way they are?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's why, I don't believe in giving tips, because you don't understand what it is. I could say, okay, go do this, and you're like, why? Like, because to the male brain, like, that's weird. But to the female's brain, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, let's end the video now. This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Have a great Halloween. Halloween is 2 days away. Today, I believe, is the 29th of October, 2015. Get a hold of us. We are doing workshops November 2015 for men and women. Single guys, get your butt in here. You're going to save a lot of money. Go to my website, MikeKollin.com. Buy my book at crackthefemalecode.com. I'll see you later.
See you guys.